For 7 seasons, lefty David Price left many indelible impressions in Tampa Bay. Beginning in 2008 by closing out Game 7 of the ALCS versus the Red Sox. Winning the Cy Young Award in 2012. And mentoring the Rays' current ace, Chris Archer. Tonight, Price returns to the Trop for the 2nd time in the uniform of the Detroit Tigers. We welcome you to Tropicana Field tonight, the middle game of this series between the Rays and the Detroit Tigers. David Price will be on the hill after the Rays won last night's first game here 5-2 to close to within a game of 500. Hi again, everyone, with Brian Anderson, Dwayne Stats. Great to have you aboard. Welcome to an evening of Rays baseball. Well, if the Rays are to get to the 500 mark, BA, they're going to have to do it against David Price, and he has been outstanding, save for a couple of outings this year. Very consistent on the hill for the Tigers.
Our good friend David Price is up to his old tricks, and what I mean by old tricks is dominating the opposition. Once again, you look at his season, 20 starts in, his record is 9-3, the ERA 2.31. He is on pace to have the lowest earned run average of his career. On top of that, he's 4th in the American League in strikeouts, so he continues to put guys away, and he continues to pitch deep into games. He's gone 8 innings or more 7 different times and leading up to 140 innings so far on the season. So he has just continued to shine, throw the ball outstanding. To be a tall order tonight for the Rays hitters.
Comes in 3rd in the league in earned run average with a mark of 9-3. He admits he loves coming back here. Todd Callis has a sit-down with David Price when we return.
In the familiar Tropicana Field setting, but walking into a different dugout than most people are used to over the years when he was a member of the Rays. Second start in his Tigers career against Tampa Bay. Last year was an August start, only allowed 1 hit, no walks, struck out 9 and 8 shutouts of complete game baseball. We talked to him about what it's like coming back here and pitching at the Trop, and also one of his favorite memories from his time with the Rays.
Absolutely. I mean, this is the organization that took the chance on me out of college, and they invested a lot in me. And for them to kind of take that leap of faith for me, this is always going to be a very special place for me.
2008, hockey, force out at second, still the best moment of your baseball life?
Absolutely. Being 22 years old, 23 years old, I guess at that time, just not really having a clue about professional baseball, and getting an opportunity to go pitch, in those types of games. If that game doesn't go that way, and if J.D. Drew, his at bat doesn't end the way that it did, my career could have been a lot different. Obviously I was always a very confident pitcher, but if something like that on that type of stage doesn't go well, it could have been a lot different at that age, because I definitely wasn't as mentally strong as I am now.
He is one of the special ones all time in Rays history, as we are 3.5 minutes until the first pitch. Price comes in with a 2.31 ERA. It would be 1.83 if it took away a start against the Yankees back in late April, where he gave up 8 in 2 1/3. Should be a fun one. Price and Jay Odorizzi next on Sunsport.
Rays won the opening game of the current series and the season series against Detroit here last night, and tonight send the right-hander Jake Odorizzi to the mound, trying to even his record, coming in at 5-6 as he squares off against the Detroit lineup. And here it is, presented by your Southern Ford dealers. Ian Kinsler leads off again, followed by Yoenis Cespedes, and then Victor Martinez, the DH. J.D. Martinez hits cleanup at third base, hitting fifth. It is Nick Castellanos James McCann will catch. Alex Avila is playing first base. Jose Iglesias at shortstop, and Anthony Gose in center field bats ninth.
Now that will be the lineup that will go up against Jake Odorizzi, making his 16th start this season. I'll tell you what, Jake has been outstanding here at home, giving up just 1 earned run or fewer in 5 of his 6 starts here at Tropicana Field in 2015.
Ian Kinsler, the second baseman, an aggressive leadoff hitter, and he goes after the first pitch and shoots it foul. Strike one. Jumping on an opening fastball there from Jake Odorizzi. First pitch presented by Pinch-A-Penny. Rays will be playing a man short tonight. David DeJesus has been traded to the Angels for 20-year-old right-handed pitcher Edouard Lopez. So the Rays bid adieu to David DeJesus. What a true professional he has been on this club. So he heads west with a .259 average and 5 home runs. We'll be hearing, by the way, from Matt Silverman coming up in the bottom of the third. Todd Callis will be chatting with him. And we'll be hearing from Jim Hickey as well. That will come in the bottom of the 4th inning. There's a strike call. Odorizzi picks up out number 1 and strikeout number 1, getting Kinsler looking at the fastball.
Well, and you've got to be able to spot that pitch perfectly to get Ian Kinsler to not swing at it. And that's exactly what Jake Odorizzi did as he goes down and away. That ball kneecap high on the outer third. Out number 1.
Having said that, Mike Estabrook is calling the balls and strikes, and he's the sort of umpire that Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine used to pitch their way to the Hall of Fame with a guy like that behind the plate. He's willing, if you can hit that corner, he's willing to go a little bit off the corner with you. That's the trend Estabrook has set in his career.
And it will be interesting to see if these two starting pitchers pick up on that, know that, and try to go that route, because you talk about an advantage. 2 guys that can command the fastball around the zone, and if they're able to walk a hitter off the plate and still get those pitches that may be a couple inches off, it makes for what looks to be a long night for both offenses even longer.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch that tonight to see how it progresses. There's a foul ball, 1-2, and on top of that, Estabrook is celebrating his 39th birthday today, so he might be in a festive mood.
And probably with plans afterwards. So let's get him out of here.
1 out, base is empty. A little foul ball on that pitch cutting away.
Well, let's set the Rays defense for you here. Brought to you by BMW. In the outfield left to right, we've got Geyer, Kiermaier, and Souza Jr. And across that infield third to first, Longoria, Cabrera, Beckham, and Forsythe, with Kurt Casale behind the plate.
Fastball wide, 2-2. Asdrubal Cabrera back active off the DL. He's happy to have him back and his steady performance at shortstop. And the Rays making that move, optioning Jake Elmore to Durham, reinstating Cabrera from the disabled list, and then just moments ago made the deal sending DeJesus west to the Angels. Down the left side, that's got some hooking action to it and is foul.
You know, and it'll be interesting, and I'm sure Todd will get to the bottom of it when he talks with Matt Silverman, but with the fact that the Rays are going to be playing a man short here tonight, you get the feeling that that deal for David DeJesus came together rather quickly, to not have anybody here as a contingency or anything like that, and be stuck going with 24 guys.
Close in, and it's now 3-2. fouled out of play. Well, the Rays got a young right-hander, just 20 years old. He'd been pitching at the A level last year in Arizona, and essentially rookie ball out there. Line drive, and it's caught by Beckham on the shortstop side of second. Shift on, and Cespedes hit the ball right to Beckham.
Well, that was a really good battle there between Odorizzi and Cespedes. He continued to work him in, off, in, away, cutters, fastballs, changeups, finally able to retire him.
Turned out to be a 10-pitch at bat.
But those are the long at bats that as a pitcher you've got to come away victorious on. Nothing more frustrating than going that deep with a hitter and then giving up the hit.
First pitch to Victor Martinez is down. One. Martinez had a couple hits in last night's game. Continues to be tough against the Rays. How about that? 363 all time. Came in hitting 361 against the Rays and up that average last night. We'll take the count to 2-2.
Well, I know that the Rays have the shift put on here against Victor Martinez, but as we saw last night, he will shoot the ball the other way if you continue to pitch him away. And so he's just a very dangerous hitter, has a great idea of what he's doing at the plate.
And there's a popper to the left side. That's out number 3. Handled by Longoria. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers. Rays are coming in to hit. By your Southern Ford dealers, and with a lefty on the mound, Brandon Guyer gets the start, and he'll lead off, followed by Joey Butler, the DH, and Evan Longoria. Logan Forsythe, Steven Souza Jr., and Asdrubal Cabrera down the middle. Kurt Casale goes up to the 7th spot. Tim Beckham 8th. Kevin Kiermaier 9th. David Price set to go to work. First pitch is popped up. Iglesias, the shortstop, handles that one. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Well, let's take a look at the Detroit Tiger defense and see how it's going to line up behind David here tonight. Brought to you by BMW in the outfield left to right. Yoenis Cespedes, Anthony Ghost, and J.D. Martinez across the infield third to first. Nick Castellanos, Jose Iglesias, Ian Kinsler, and Alex Avila with James McCann behind the plate.
Joey Butler, the DH for the Rays, stepping in against the 29-year-old David Price. He'll be 30 near the end of August. First pitch is a strike. Started wide.
Well, that
stayed out there.
That pitch by David Price, everything was off rhythm. If you could see between David and James McCann going through the signs, James McCann called for every pitch in the arsenal until he got to the curveball last. So everything was off. David just standing out there shaking away. Wow.
2-1, a fastball there.
That looked like a pretty good pitch, too.
How about all of these pitches?
Yeah. Well, we know that David Price can pound the zone in and out. He works it around. He's got pinpoint command.
It's 3-1. Well, all of these pitches have been very close, and you could argue for a strike on each one of them.
Oh, yeah. Especially when given that history with Estabrook.
And ball 4. How about that?
Well, that's not something that you see very often. I mean, David Price has one of the best walks per 9 innings in all of Major League Baseball. Always has been like that.
Well, he's walked only 27 hitters, 2 intentional walks, in over 140 innings. He's 4th in the league in innings pitched and only 27 total walks.
And so that's why you say, well, maybe it's a little early in the game. He really hasn't established anything yet in those borderline pitches. Listen, he's got a track record, a pretty thick track record on good command. But the Rays get a walk there.
Here's Evan Longoria. There's a strike on a fastball. Outside. It's 1-1.
Well, it's the same mix of pitches for David Price. Of course, the fastball, he's going to use it both sides of the plate. He's got the cutter, of course, that he will use on both sides of the plate. A changeup that actually has gotten better. And then finally that curveball.
Well, he's 2-1 with Longoria. Been all around. All of these pitches have been close. Not much difference between the called strikes and the pitches that were not called strikes.
And you hope to take advantage of these types of counts. Joey Butler working a walk. Evan Longoria should get a pretty good pitch to swing at here.
He fouls it back. 2-2 got a fastball. A little extra on that one by Price.
Yep, and he's trying to go away, and he yanked that pitch right back to the middle. You see where McCann is set up and where it ends up. Boy, oh boy, he got away with one there.
Now 2-2 to Evan. Fly ball hit directly toward Ghost. Recall last night when Ghost was shaded toward right center, not all that deep. And he's out there in that same spot this time. Longoria hits it to him.
Well, positioned perfectly for the changeup in the location that David Price put that pitch. But yeah, that's just odd to see, where they had been playing Evan Longoria here in this series.
Well, Evan crossed him up back in the third inning of last night's game. He drove the ball just a bit to the left side of straightaway center. Now it's Logan Forsythe. Fastball in for a strike. Fastball by him. 96 on that one. 0-2.
Starting to get into the flow of the ball game here. And David Price, we know that he'll pitch in that 92 to 94 range, but he's got that ability when he wants an extra mile an hour or two, can go back and get it.
Forsythe with a couple hits last night. Count remains 0-2. Forsythe, since the All-Star break, has been hot at the plate. He's 12 out of 30 and has been on base half the time since the break.
Yeah, how about that? Reach base safely, 18 to 36. I mean, will take his walks, hit by pitch, continues to find holes. Just a very consistent approach at the plate for the Rays all season long.
One ball, two strikes. Forsythe making the start at first base tonight. It's his 12th start over there at first.
Well, this is where we would often see that backdoor cutter after he would rush a fastball in off the plate. Let's see if they're going to stick with that formula.
And it's lifted into center, and again Ghost is right there. The off-speed pitch and the fly ball. We're through an inning here at the Trop tonight. No score. AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. J.D. Martinez goes after the first pitch, skies it to center field. Back goes Kiermaier, still back, starts to reach for the wall. Now he comes back in and he misplays it. Martinez is going to wind up at third.
And you wonder if that has anything to do with that abrasion on the eye, because I'll tell you, Kevin Kiermaier's looking up. Maybe it hit something up there in center field, and now you've got Brad Ausmus coming out here to talk, and it may have hit something. Because you very rarely see Kevin Kiermaier. He knows how to play center field here and doesn't get caught in situations like that.
Well, Ausmus checking with the umpires, because the ground rules state that if it hits either of those two back rings, it's a home run.
Yep.
So that would be the C ring or the D ring, and the umpires confer. And you'll see the ground rules there. If the batted ball strikes either of the lower two catwalks, it's a home run. That would be the C and D rings going out. And so they'll take a look at this. Boy, it's really unusual. You saw Kiermaier going back as he normally would and started to field for the wall. And as he got there, and to his surprise, suddenly that ball was dropping in front of him.
Which is what makes you wonder if it did hit something, because he actually backed into the wall. And you're right, Dwayne. All of a sudden, it's like, oh no, the ball is in front of me. Just watch Kiermaier's reaction. Feeling for the wall, goes into it. Uh-oh.
You know, it's interesting because he appeared, of course, he kept going back and back. He appeared to be comfortable with being about a half step from the wall, as if he might make a play on that ball. And suddenly, when it dropped in front of him, that was a major surprise for him.
Well, you just wonder, too, with him backing into the wall, you do that if you're getting ready to make a jump. And all of a sudden, if it hits something up there, obviously that more than likely is going to come straight down. Although they're saying that the Kurt Casale home run last night actually, you know, skipped off of a ring and ended up getting out of here. So who knows? And by the way, are you going to get any look that's going to tell you definitively it hit anything?
I would guess that that's going to be very difficult.
Yep. Kiermaier just replayed it for us, so.
Well, you never know what an outfielder is seeing or not seeing when the ball's hit that high and up there. It might have hit a ring. It may not have hit anything. It may have disappeared on him. And he was anticipating it's kind of a situation where if you do lose it, you're better trying to come in on that than get back on it. So he kept going back.
You've got to fight the fact that the roof here, you know, matches the color of the rubbed up ball, but then you got all those rings into play too.
Well, they're going to have Martinez placed at third. That's where he wound up. And you'd have to guess at this point that they're going to say it stands, because you really couldn't see, probably didn't get a definitive view whether or not that ball hit anything or not. Again, those back two rings, if it hits that, that's a home run. So it's a triple. J.D. Martinez has his first triple of the year. Vic Castellanos, the third baseman, pops this one up. Forsythe back just inside the line, back of first. That's the first out.
Well, and a nice job by Jake Odorizzi. An extremely difficult situation here with a runner on third and nobody out. One pitch, one out. No move by Martinez. Now you bring that infield in.
James McCann will be the hitter He's catching tonight. Carries with him that .289 average.
Well, this defensive deployment here by the Rays speaks to the fact that the belief that runs will be tough to come by here tonight.
I want to know. Well, we know how difficult it's been for the Rays, averaging a little over 3.5 runs a game. And then you combine that with David Price on the mound. Every run is dear. Into left. Geyer in to make the catch. Tag at third. Martinez is going to hold up. And that's a nice play by Geyer out there in left to make the catch and get himself into a position to make a good throw back in.
Well, this ball is off the end of the bat, and so it's going to start to die. Brandon Geyer closes on it well and makes the catch while getting his footwork right. And that's going to keep J.D. Martinez at third base. And now Jake Odorizzi has just retired the hitter, one guy away from getting out of this situation.
The hitter is Alex Avila, who is playing first base tonight. Avila, catching last night, was 0 for 2 with 2 bases on balls. After the first pitch, fouling the fastball for a strike.
And that may be the best pitch that Alex Avila will see during this at bat. You know, his swing, it's such an extreme uppercut type of swing that those fastballs middle of the plate down, that's the danger zone to Avila. The fact that he just fouled that off, you can take pitches below the zone, you can climb the ladder against him, and you're already out in front.
He lays off the pitch up. 1-1. J.D. Martinez aboard at third. Two balls and a strike. Well, Jake, one hitter from getting out of this spot.
And that's why you put J.D. Martinez completely out of your mind. He's not going anywhere. You're worried about the right pitch, the right spot, and get that last out. Doesn't matter about Martinez anymore.
3-1. Rays have a heavy shade on for Avila here. And with the 3-1 count, they're going to transform that into a shift.
Yeah, Cabrera moving out of the little circle there. Now you got to think 3-1. The thought of going the other way has left the mind of Avila. He's looking to do damage here.
Takes a strike. Full count. This would potentially be a very big spot with Odorizzi hooked up against Price, and a pop fly into left. Geyer waiting for that one, and Odorizzi pitches out of it, pitches around the leadoff triple, leaving Martinez at third. know that every run they score or prevent Detroit from scoring can be big with this guy on the mound, and a great job by Odorizzi. So here's Steven Souza Jr. And he shortens taking the pitch for a ball, 1-0. One ball, one strike. One and two. Price making his 21st start after his 10th win tonight. Been speculation about whether the Tigers would talk trade involving David Price. Kansas City continues to stock up in the Central, and the Tigers are running third, 12.5 back. But the Tigers, there's also an argument that the Tigers still feel that they have a wild card shot. Kinsler out. That ball will be caught by Ghost coming in. And so Souza is out, number one. Well, tonight's great moment in Braves history presented by Geico. We go back to last year, the 21st of August. David Price made his first start against his former club, and Price allowed just one hit, that triple by Brandon Guyer, and that was all the Rays needed in a 1-0 win. Defeating Price here at his return to the Trop. Well, that might be what it takes to beat him again. You can see just one hit, one run, no walks, 9 strikeouts in that outing.
Retired the final 23 hitters in that game. Just was bested and outpitched by Alex Cobb. Jake Odorizzi really helped himself out in that last half inning. Leadoff triple. I mean, that's kind of a run that you almost just go ahead and count that. They're going to find a way to get that runner in, but Jake able to pitch out of that spot, boy, that's huge.
Two, you know, we're chatting about that between innings. No real numbers to verify this, but you brought up the point that it seems that we've seen that more often than not this year. Man at third, nobody out, can't get him in.
I mean, it really is epidemic, and it's not just the Rays. I mean, we see it with a lot of other teams. Obviously, the Rays have a tremendous, dominant pitching staff, but it used to be, you know, these hitters would go to the plate with a plan, and they're going to find a way to get that guy in that situation somehow, some way. But it seems to be a higher percentage of times now that guys are able to wiggle out of it. You wonder about the game plan of the hitters as they go to the plate, just free swinging, or is there a thought process up there?
2 strikes to Cabrera. Well, generally speaking, if you can get the leadoff hitter at first base beginning an inning, you got a 50-50 chance of scoring that inning. You get him at third when the odds are really in your favor. And it would be interesting to see if we could calculate that, get some read on what that rate is this year, or is it just the games we're seeing? I mean, hitters took pride in their ability to do that.
Oh, yeah.
To come up, you get a guy at third, you can't wait to get up there. He's going to do something to get the runner home.
you know, the infield's back. I know I could just hit a ground ball and keep it in the middle of the field. I mean, there's just a lot of different approaches. But it seems like guys now, runner in scoring position, let alone a guy at third, they just kind of go up there and first pitch that's close, they're just freewheeling and swinging. No real rhyme or reason to it, and it does seem as if, you know, obviously that's still a great scoring opportunity, and most of the time that run is going to score, but it seems like it's been more often that guys are able to wiggle out of it than they have maybe 10 years ago, 5 years ago.
Cabrera battling here against David Price, extending this at bat. It'll be at least an 8-pitch at bat. Fly ball hit deep to left. Down toward the corner, and it's going to be off the bottom of the wall. Cabrera with a double in his first at bat, coming back off the DL.
You know, David Price had given Asdrubal Cabrera everything in that at bat, and then he decides to come with a 1-2 curveball, and Cabrera was able to get out around it and swat it into left field. Watch this pitch hang. Well, that just hung up there. Absolutely zero depth to that. And Cabrera, all arms on that swing as he was able to stay back. Almost got it out of here. Have to settle for a double.
So now the Rays have a scoring opportunity. Presenting itself here with one away. Kurt Casale, who's been red hot at the plate. Exemplified last night. There's a base hit into left. And Cabrera's going to have to stop at third. So Casale continues his hot hitting with a single through the hole. And it's first and third for the Rays.
Well, and that's one of those situations where David Price is going to start a hitter out with a first pitch changeup. You're not changing up off of anything. Not only that, you leave it in a bad spot. So it's a changeup. Casale's like, okay, it's just like BP heater to me. And so he's right, look at, not fooled at all. Right on time, ropes that ball in the hole. And there you go.
You know, that's a great point. He's just coming out of BP.
Yeah.
So now first pitch he sees in the game, same thing.
Yeah.
I've been hitting those all afternoon.
It's that early changeup, early in the game, early in the at-bat.
Yeah.
And so you saw, the reaction of the hitter will tell you. Kurt Casale not even remotely fooled by that pitch. And, by the way, then it's in a bad spot on top of it. So
now it'll be the Rays here, first and third, one out, and Tim Beckham. He shoots that one foul, and it gets Rocco Baldelli. Rocco tried to twist his way out of the way, and that ball just kept coming after him.
I like the wink into the dugout because someone was giving him the business.
Well, he's tried to disarm the dugout with that wink.
Yeah. Oh, man. And that ball just dropped straight down, so it wasn't a glancing blow. Took it like a champ, though.
He did. Foul out of play. 0-2.
If you're Tim Beckham, just put the ball in play. Price obviously going for that strikeout.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
We've seen him do that before. Tim Beckham in these, we've talked about it the last number of games that he's been out there, hitting with 2 strikes, shortening the stroke with 2 strikes, doing whatever he has to do to give himself a chance in these situations. Needs to do it one more time.
And that's down 2-2. Well, here's something to think about. First and third, 1 out. Chances of scoring 1 run, 35% in this situation.
That's it?
Yep. It's tough to score runs in this game.
Now it is.
Ground ball, and it's going to sneak through. Rays get the run. Cabrera crosses the plate. Rays lead 1-0 on the roller through the left side off the bat of Tim Beckham.
And you know what? It's becoming a trend now. With Tim Beckham, you can learn a lot by watching his 2-strike approach. He cuts down on his swing about as well as anybody. Doesn't mean it's foolproof, but he gives himself a chance. And here's a changeup, and watch the swing. He just gets out there. Look at it. Just a little half swing. Just put the ball in play. Maybe you find a hole like you just did. Doesn't try to do too much. Rays lead.
Here's Kevin Kiermaier. It's wide. So the Rays have put 3 hits together. The first one being Cabrera's double. And it's 1-0 Tampa Bay. It's off his foot. 1-1. Kiermaier with a 1-1 count. Casale and Beckham, the runners, second and first. 1-2.
Well, much like Tim Beckham, you're in the situation if you're Kevin Kiermaier, and this is where he really, should have that 2-strike approach. Big reason why his feet, the way that he can move out of the box, just put the ball in play. You chop one, you're going to be tough to throw out. The way that Kevin runs.
There's the pop-up right side. On the infield pop, Kinsler takes care of the formality. 2 away with 2 men on. Brandon Guyer, top of the order now, gets a chance to do something with 2 gone. The first pitch is a strike fastball in the mid-90s. That will be out of play. 0-2. Rays had a runner in the first on the walk, left him aboard. Have a run home in the second. And that is strike 3 called. Geyer takes the fastball. Rays get a run on the base hit by Tim Beckham. It scores Asdrubal Cabrera. So as we go to the third, the Rays have taken the early 1-0 lead. To you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Morgan Auto Group. Make it Morgan. We make it happen. And by Grow Financial. Don't go through life. Grow through life. Jose Iglesias leading off. The pitch is a strike. Iglesias. Then Anthony Gose and Ian Kinsler. Rizzi pitching around the leadoff triple in the second inning. Rays came in to score a run. Pulled foul, distance but well foul. And it's 1-2. Boy, the Tigers have their lineup just filled with aggressive hitters. And here's one of them.
Yeah, top to bottom. Hey, you're right. I mean, how many balls have we seen blistered, but foul?
And he chases this one out on strikes.
And to your point, that's what you can do to an aggressive swinging, aggressive hitting lineup if you're able to command your pitches. You get ahead, 2 strikes. This pitch really isn't even that close. Jake going with a cutter down and away. And look at the swing he gets from Iglesias.
Anthony Gose. It's a foul and a strike. Gose with 5 lifetime at bats against Odorizzi's 2 for 5 off him. And he's had a nice year offensively. There was a question about his ability to sustain the offense because he's an outstanding center fielder. And he's had a pretty good year all the way around for the Tigers. Well,
you can take Anthony Gose and hide him right down at the bottom of the lineup. He's not a guy that has to be up at the top where there's a little bit more focus. You can put him down at the bottom and let him do his thing. A second leadoff guy. Especially when you talk about his foot speed and the way he runs the bases. I think where you could hide him in that Blue Jay lineup now.
Oh, how about that with the deal? Reyes for Tulowitzki.
Shocking to say it.
And strict call at the knees. Odorizzi picks up back-to-back strikeouts. 2 gone. And here's the deal with Toronto and the Rockies. You know, the Rockies pick up some young pitching, and LaTroy Hawkins, the antithesis of that, he just keeps on pitching.
42 years old.
Yeah.
42 years old. And he said, listen, this is my last couple of months in the game and have an opportunity to get into the postseason. But I'll tell you what, that formidable lineup already. You had Tulowitzki, Donaldson on the left side of that infield, and then Encarnacion, Bautista. Goodness gracious.
1-1 to count on Kinsler.
Well, just think about that infield. If you got Encarnacion over there at first base, and Devin Travis, Tulowitzki, Donaldson, Russell Martin behind the plate. That's some slug. Wow.
Yeah. Well, we were talking before the game about that lineup, you know, the way lineups used to be a few years ago, where you really had to be careful top to bottom.
That was before the trade.
2-2.
Well, what will be interesting is to see what they do, you know, at the top of the order, because that was where Jose Reyes, when he's healthy, that's where he was going to hit.
Two and two now. And a cut to miss. Kinsler out on strikes. Second time he's gone down on strikes. Looking the first time. Swinging this time. It's a busy time for Matt Silverman. He'll be chatting with Todd Callis when we return.
At the bottom half of the third inning, as we're joined by Matt Silverman here with Joey Butler leading off the bottom of the third. Matt, interesting day for the Rays as we're just 3 days away from the trade deadline, and you guys moved David DeJesus. Tell us about the move.
Yeah, you know, we had a little bit of a logjam, especially considering that Jennings is going to be coming back in the next couple weeks. Found an opportunity for David to go and play more regularly. It'll get more at-bats for Jaso and others, and we get a prospect in our system and save a little bit of money that we get to redeploy.
David Price deals to Butler and gets a comebacker on one big hop, and that's the first out here in the bottom of the third. Tell us a little bit about the young right-hander, 20 years old from the Angels system. Yeah,
20-year-old right-handed pitcher, good fastball, needs to work on his secondary stuff. He's a project, but so are most 20-year-old pitchers. But the good arm, live arm. We're glad to have him in our system and see how he progresses along with a lot of our other young pitchers.
Interesting how it worked out, because there was a lot of talk that with Jaso in the fold, we wouldn't see David DeJesus come opening day. Thank goodness we did, based on what happened with John.
Yeah, I mean, David did exactly what we needed him to do. He's a true professional. He's a good hitter.
They're good buddies, Longoria and Price. Longo didn't want to get tagged out, so it goes as a 1-3 as he avoids the tag out by Price.
So David filled in, did a great job for us. We knew there was a little bit of an awkward roster construction with both Jaso and DeJesus. We went into spring knowing it would figure itself out, and it did in an odd way. And unfortunate for Jaso that he missed a big chunk of the season. Now that he's back and healthy, want to get those at bats for him. He's been swinging a good stick, and hopefully be able to be a big part of our offensive revitalization in the next couple months.
Price on the mound. Obviously, at this time last year, you guys were going through one of the most difficult decisions you've ever had to deal with. What do you recall about that time as the days leading up to the trade deadline with a team similar to where this team is in terms of games back in the race?
Yeah, I think our record was a little bit worse, but certainly we're right in the same spot. With David, looking ahead and knowing that he was going to cost what he did this year, it was a trade that we didn't need to do, but worked out for us, and we were able to find a good partner in the Tigers with that one. Interesting that we're back here today. We're playing these guys right around the same time period, but we were able to get some assets, some long-term assets in that deal.
We had a short inning. Can we get you for a little bit in the next? We'll be back with Matt Silverman as we go to the fourth inning. It's 1-0 Rays through 3 as the Rays lead it heading into the fourth. Talking with Matt Silverman, we continue our conversation. A lot has happened in baseball leading up to the trade deadline. It all started with the Kazmir trade today. Zobrist moves to Kansas City. It seems like, are there a lot of conversations going on around baseball? Yeah, a lot of conversations. Actually, a couple of big deals that have happened already, and I think that's loosened the market a little bit and greased the wheels. I expect there's going to be a lot more overall in baseball the next couple of days. We're in the mix. There's nothing that's imminent, but a lot of conversations going on, a lot of interest in our players, and that's to be expected. We have very good players. At this time of year, we have a lot of conversations. That's nothing out of the ordinary. You mentioned similar games back as to the last year at this time. Is it different because last year the Orioles were a 96-win team, as it turns out, and the Yankees are on pace, but maybe not to that extent where the Orioles were red hot last year when the Rays couldn't catch them with that great July? Yeah, I mean, the division still feels like it's within reach. We've got a ways to go, but we have some head-to-head games. Back to the wall and over the wall. Tie game. Yoenis Cespedes ties it up on an opposite field home run. He has driven in every run of this series. for the Tigers, and we're tied at 1 here in the 4th.
So, the Yankees aren't as far back. We're not as far back as the Yankees, and the wild card is all jammed up. And so, with that, we have the ability, if we get hot, win some of these head-to-head matchups, to pull right back within in that race and be in this in September.
So a move today. We'll see what happens, but the phone continues to ring.
Yeah, lots of activity, and we'll see what happens next couple days.
Matt, thanks for the time.
All right, thanks.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you. Well, we'll see as the clock continues to tick down to that deadline. Rays sending David DeJesus to the Angels before the game tonight.
I think what Matt Silverman said about how these early deals have kind of greased the wheels a little bit, I think he's absolutely correct in that. Not only because of the conversations, but common sense. You see like the Royals making these moves. Well, guess what? Now you've got a few days for other teams to be able to react, and they're going to.
Yeah, the pressure builds on those other teams.
That's it.
To make a move to counter the moves that these other clubs have made.
A lot of times, everything's quiet up until the very last day, and then you'll see a flurry of quick moves, and then that's it. No one can really react at that point. Well, now they can, and this is another big one.
Ben Zobrist on the move, going to Kansas City. Well, you knew when Scott Casberry was traded from Oakland that it was only a matter of time, and then Tyler Clippard. It's a cut and a miss. Martinez out on strikes. Strikeout number 5 for Odorizzi, and now Zobrist.
Billy Beane, he's always proactive. They're either going to be in it. Last year they decided to make a bunch of trades to go for it. That did not go very well, and obviously not having the year that they would have hoped for. So look to restock.
It's a quick reshuffle of the deck.
Boy, big time.
One strike, the count to J.D. Martinez. One and one. Rays got the run in the second inning. Now the Tigers a run in the 4th to tie. Into center, and that's going to fall in front of Kiermaier. That had some top spin on it, and that ball took a big dive out there in front of Kiermaier.
Yeah, it absolutely did. Had some English on that shot out there. J.D. Martinez, well, you look at his power and production numbers and know that he can hit a ball hard. Watch this thing. Heads out and starts to slice back. Just keep it in front of you.
So J.D. Martinez 2 for 2 tonight. Castellanos at the plate. Ground ball, that's going to go through. Martinez going to go to third. The throw's over there, not in time. Now back to second, and that goes not in time. Well, some hesitancy right from the beginning on that play by the Rays defense.
Well, first of all, they had him defended, conceptually. There were 3 guys over there on that side of the infield. And so you had the right idea, but Castellanos is able to find a hole here. And Brandon Guyer's going to come in. 2 hands that grounder. J.D. Martinez kind of, lulling him to sleep there. Really looked like he was going to hang up there at second base, but as he closed in on second, he turned it on, caught Brandon Guyer a little bit flat-footed. And then the throw to third, of course, allows Castellanos to move up to second base. Not a very good turn there for the Rays defensively.
McCann takes the pitch down and in.
I think when you saw J.D. Martinez heading towards second base, it fooled me too. I didn't think that he'd be heading towards third, and I think everybody kind of collectively let their defenses down a little bit out there, and ends up costing the Rays a second and third situation.
Fouled off his foot. It's 1-1. So another big threat here by the Tigers. J.D. Martinez opened the second inning with a triple, and then Odorizzi got out of that. Now second and third with one out. One to count. The ball, 2 strikes on the off speed.
We get a pretty good look at that conversation between Jake Odorizzi and Kurt Casale. That was very animated on both ends.
Healthy conversation.
Absolutely. That's tremendous.
Covered up. 2-2. Here's that conversation.
So Kurt Casale's going to come out. Jake has got an idea of what he wants to do, and watch Kurt Casale's reaction. I mean, animated. Like, listen, this is what we're going to do. This is going to work. I'm telling you. That's great stuff.
You love that in the catcher. Oh, especially if it works out.
Yeah.
And it does here. They strike out McCann in a big spot.
After the conversation, it was 3 straight changeups. And that must have been the message as they're going back and forth. Listen, we can just keep throwing it. This guy's got one thing on his mind. He's going to commit to the fastball. There it is, down and in. And he misses it again.
An aggressive bunch in a situation that might make you even more aggressive.
And another situation, second and third, get the run in. No, just go up there and start hacking. Plays right into Jake Odorizzi's hand in that at bat.
So here's Alex Avila. Pitch is a strike. Takes a fastball. Well, can he get out of another one of these spots? It's 1-1. Checking when he got out of that spot in the second. You give up a leadoff triple. And the chances of scoring are close to 84%. He got out of that. Now second and third, one out. The chances of scoring in that situation about 69%. Second and third, 2 outs. It gets down to 28%. So getting that second out, a very big out to strike out McCann. Well, he was thinking something other than the fastball there late.
You know, I actually think he was thinking fastball. That's his swing. It's his swing is so big time uppercut that the heater that's away from him, he cannot get on top of it. Watch the swing. He's going to try to go down and you can't get up to it. Look at that. Yep. I mean, that bat is in and out of the strike zone so fast, he just cannot get there.
Oh boy, he couldn't get to that one. Into the dirt, blocked nicely by Casale.
The first pitch that he saw from Jake Odorizzi tonight was a fastball middle of the plate down. That was his pitch. That was his pitch. Because that bat head, you know, heading down that way, okay, now I can get to it. If it's anywhere above that, I mean thigh to belt and above, and especially if it's away from him, he cannot get the bat head there. As extreme an uppercut swing that you'll see.
2-2. He gets out of another big spot. Got him with that fastball again. So 2 big spots and Odorizzi gets out of them. This game is tied 1-1. We'll talk with Jim Hickey. On, it's David Price and Jake Odorizzi hooked up in this one, and happy to have Jim Hickey, the Rays pitching coach, join us. These pitching matchups like this don't get much better.
No, it's nice. I was actually hoping for the same outcome as the last time he pitched here, though, but we're going to have to squeak it out 2-1, I guess.
Hey, Jim, listen, you know, it's been well documented the number of pitchers that have blossomed under your tutelage. And you think about the two guys that are out here, you know, tonight with Jake Odorizzi and David Price. You think about Chris Archer. But talk a little bit about the development during the course of this season of a Nathan Carnes and an Erasmo Ramirez, what they've done with this for this starting rotation.
Well, before I get there, I was just this last inning just marveling at Odorizzi himself, you know, because it's not a high octane kind of a guy, but the way that he has learned to pitch and him working out of those couple of jams against those particular hitters that he did and the way that he did it was extremely impressive. You know, talking about impressive, Nathan Carnes, boy, I'll tell you, he's been a great surprise, but he goes out there.
Souza nails this one back to the wall toward the corner. He's around second, accelerates, but hangs on. A little trouble getting that one back in, and Souza Jr. has a two-base hit to lead off the bottom of the fourth. Well, there's your potential run, Jim, if the Rays are to squeeze this one out 2-1.
Yeah,
it's a good start.
It's a great start, except he looked like he wanted to go third all by himself. He got a little bit carried away, but what Nathan Carnes has done has been incredibly impressive, you know, especially from, you know, where he's come from and what he's done. The way that he's just kind of embraced, you know, what we thought that he could do and what we thought that he could be, and now that he's a little bit confident, so much fun to watch. The same thing with Erasmo Ramirez, you know, after those first couple of disastrous starts, you know, we all knew that that was not who he was. He certainly, you know, was nowhere near that bad. It was just a couple of bad outings, obviously a couple of bad outings, but the way that he's come back and rebounded, I don't know if that's more impressive than the other one or Odorizzi or whatever, but they've all been extremely impressive.
Jim, you've taken pitchers with different approaches, and you just named a couple of them there. Just absolutely different, and have had success with them. So is that a result of more of an approach that you would talk with them about and direct them, as opposed to the physicality of the type of pitcher you have?
I think it's more of an approach, an individual approach, and we have people that give us information that are invaluable to us. You know, Graham Tyler and Peter Bendix, and just to name a couple of them, the list goes on and on and on, where they kind of tailor, you know, an ideal approach to that particular pitcher, and to get those guys to buy into that and have a little bit of success makes it a heck of a lot easier. But it makes our job also a lot easier. And of course, Stan Borowski is also he's just indispensable in that whole process as well. But I think it just is a case of getting them to believe what we see, you know, and it's not just something that's a good idea. It's something that's been proven over the course of their careers.
And speaking of individual approach, how difficult has it been with the number of bodies that you've had to deal with this year, and sometimes on a night-to-night basis, one guy out, one guy up, all the injuries, seemingly you've used 30 pitchers, and relating to all these different guys?
Yeah, it's been a challenge. It's been fun, actually. It's been very, very busy, however, though sometimes a little bit busier than I would like it, but it certainly has been fun, especially when you watch the young guys like an Andrew Bellotti go out there and have some success with some of the things that we talk about, and, you know, latch onto it immediately. But, you know, the success breeds success, and these guys see what has happened with other guys, and they talk to each other and they buy into it. And I think, you know, now they all know that we're all in this for the same exact reason, and that's to win baseball games, as many as we can, period, end of story. So they know that we're on their side, and that's half the battle right there.
Jim, since David Price has left, we saw him last year, seeing him for the first time this year, so we don't see a lot of him. Do you see anything different in him right now?
Yeah, I see something a little bit different with him, and I don't see him a whole bunch either, but I do watch him, you know, post-game on videotape often as I'm scouting, you know, for the teams that we're about to play. He's gone away from that backdoor cutter. You know, he used to use that almost exclusively to try to strike out right-handed hitters when he was ahead in the count. He's gone more, relied more heavily on the two-seam fastball in the front door fastball, if you will, and also the changeup below the strike zone. And just watching him, I think he's probably getting a lot more swings out of the strike zone right now than he ever had when he was here. But I think that's also by design. It's something that he's doing. And there's your front door two-seamer right there, a pretty good pitch. that's something that he's doing by design. I talked to him the other day as well, and we joked about it because we had talked about that all the time here, but it's hard to argue with the success that he had here.
And you know what, that goes right into what I was going to ask you. When you are having that kind of success, with that backdoor cutter, how do you get to the point where you start to go away from that? How are you convinced of that? Is that just, something that in the development of a pitcher, him talking to, the pitching? Well, how does that end up happening when it's working out so well that he moves in another direction?
Well, he had great success with it for a long time, but he also got burned a number of times with that to hitters that, for instance, if we played Detroit and he was still with Tampa Bay at the shortstop, Iglesias throwing throwing pitches in the strike zone by design to people that you don't need to throw pitches in the strike zone to, like a Castellanos or like a J.D. Martinez. Those were the mistakes, not the mistakes, but I think, he realized that, here I am throwing a pitch in the strike zone by design to somebody that all I have to do is bounce a ball underneath the strike zone or elevate a ball above the strike zone, and they're going to swing at that as well. So I think it's just a little bit of an evolution. The league catches up to you a little bit. You get burned a couple of times. As a matter of fact, I can remember the 1-0 game that Alex Cobb beat him here. The triple to Brandon Guyer was a backdoor cutter, and I'm pretty certain it was with 2 strikes as well. So there's a good example right there.
Hey, listen, Hick, before we let you go, I know that you're a huge fan of the in-between inning entertainment here. And with the Pepsi bottle race coming up in the bottom of the 4th, who you got?
Who's in it?
Well, I think it's Aquafina and Pepsi and some other Pepsi.
I'm going to go with the water, okay? Hold on a second. I'm going to pick Aquafina.
All right. Well, we'll let you go and let you enjoy that bottle of water that you have there. We appreciate your visit.
All right.
And Cabrera's putting a pretty good at bat here against David Price.
Here comes a base hit right here. Oh,
and he pops him up foul. That ball may get out of play and does.
Fall on my head.
Yeah, you almost had a play there.
All right, we'll watch them score together.
All right, we appreciate the visit, Jim. Cabrera had an 8-pitch at bat in the 2nd inning and another extended at bat. He has 9 pitches going on this one. Battling David Price, trying to get the go-ahead run home.
And he has seen the ball well off David Price. You can tell that by the swings. Number one, David, last time they got into this situation, tried to throw him a curveball, something he hadn't seen, surprise him with it. It wasn't a good one. Cabrera doubled, and again putting up a great fight.
Souza Jr. opened with a double. And again, a pop foul right side. That's going to carry into the stands. So that's 10 pitches in now. Well, this is quite a battle. How about that? 10 pitches. He's seen 18 pitches. Price has made 60 pitches all night. Cabrera has seen 18 of them.
Frustrating is what is going through the mind of David Price, on top of the fact that he needs to make a quality pitch here. And this is the point where you get to you say, well, what next? I've tried everything with this guy. And maybe you come heat or close to him. I'm going to go down and away.
And he lets it into left center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. Here comes Souza. Cabrera heads for second. In with a double. Rays lead 2-1. What an at bat by Asdrubal Cabrera. And the double gives the Rays the lead.
And guess what that pitch was? We were just talking to Jim Hickey about the backdoor cutter and getting burned on it. Here it comes. Backdoor cutter. And he got burned.
So a couple of 2-base hits for Cabrera tonight. 2 doubles here in the 4th. And on a 12-pitch at bat, Cabrera doubles home Souza Jr. So the Rays get that run right back here in the bottom of the 4th. Here's Curt Casali. Casali singled on an off-speed pitch in the 2nd inning. We mentioned last night both Casali and Price out of Vanderbilt. Casali missed Price by a year there. Bird started to go and checked. This one is down. 2 balls and a strike. So the double. Souza doubled on a 1-1 pitch, and then Cabrera is keeping track of the pitches here. That was an 11 pitch at bat for Cabrera. He went 3-2, then 10 pitches before the double. So an 11 pitch at bat for Cabrera against Price to give the Rays the lead. Now 2-1 to Casale. Long shot, deep into that center. Gone again. Home run for Casale. That's number 6. Casale hit 2 last night and a 2-run blast tonight. That's going to give the Rays a 4-1 lead.
Boy, that looked like an off-speed. Looked like a changeup that was yanked to Curt Casale. Base hit his first time up off of the changeup. Second time up, 2-1 changeup, pulled to the middle of the plate, and see you later. Once again, not fooled at all over that pitch. That's a big one.
Kevin Cash wanting some more offense from his catching spot, inserting Casale into the game, and he is obliged beyond any expectations. 2 home runs last night in a 3-hit night. He's 2 for 2 tonight with a home run. And the Rays, just like that, have a 3-run inning and a 4-1 lead. Tim Beckham up here drove in the first run. That's a strike. The count is 1-1.
But you just never know what a guy's going to do until he's given the opportunity. And how many times have we seen Casale out there multiple games in a row? Not very often. Now he's getting comfortable. The ball's jumping off the bat. He's obviously locked in at the plate because we've seen the home runs off fastballs. That one off of a changeup.
Ball, 2 strikes on Beckham. The Rays scored 5 runs last night. They have 4 tonight. Around here, that's big news. Ground ball right side. Price will have to cover. And Beckham is the first out.
Well, you certainly didn't think you'd have 4 off of David Price before he recorded the first out of the 4th inning. But they've come in with a really good plan. David has not been as sharp as we've seen him in the past. And they've made him pay for mistakes. Period. End of story.
Well, the Rays scored in the 2nd and now here in the 4th inning. And the common denominator there, a couple of extended at-bats by Asdrubal Cabrera.
Yeah, really the poster child of the Rays offense here tonight. Casale with the damage, but Cabrera with a couple of tremendous at-bats.
A strike on Kiermaier. Casale's now 5 of 6 in the series. 3 home runs and 5 runs batted in. One to count. Foul ball.
You know, this may be reading a little bit too much into it, but just having, gone through the similar situations in the past, David Price and James McCann, seemingly not on the same page. A lot of shakes. McCann going through a number of pitches, a lot of the time before settling on one that they can agree upon. And sometimes when you feel like you're fighting your catcher, that can be difficult to contend with too.
Kiermaier out on strikes. Missed the fastball up a bit. 2 gone. Brandon Guyer has popped out and struck out tonight. He's up here now with the bases empty, 2 gone. And what has been a 3-run inning by the mound, but there is Kinsler in the throw to first in time. So Guyer's the 3rd out. The Rays have a big inning. They score 3, a double by Cabrera, and then the home run by Casale. And the Rays wondering about the play at first base. Kevin Cash in front of the dugout there as they trying to get another look here. Was he safe or not at first base? Out the call, and out he is. We're going to head into the 5th inning, and the Rays have taken a 4-1 lead. Four to one, the Rays have taken a lead as we go to the 5th inning. Kurt Casale delivering a big blow in the bottom of the 4th. So a 3-run lead for Jake Odorizzi to begin the 5th. And he faces the shortstop, Jose Iglesias. That's a strike.
How about the turn of events for Odorizzi? You know, the leadoff triple, had to wiggle out of that. 2nd and 3rd, 1 out, wiggles out of that. Just trying to keep the game close. And now working with a 3-run lead.
Pitch is down, 1-1. And how about Casale? We mentioned that both he and Price were at Vanderbilt, but a year apart. But he went there on a recruiting visit when Price was still there with Pedro Alvarez. They left, and he said after seeing those guys and going on that visit, he was going to go. So they were finished. He went to Vanderbilt, missed him. But boy, he's had a couple of pitches tonight that he didn't miss from David Price. 2-1 now. This one is popped up. Beckham keeping an eye on that one from second base. So 1 out here in the 5th inning. Now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag #DataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Ghost caught looking his first time. Ball, no strikes. Seven strikeouts in this game tonight for Odorizzi. Giving up the 1 run on 4 hits, no walks. Beckham a nice pickup, and the throw on the move. Not an easy play as that turned out, moving to his left to get it, and then a throw back against his momentum. Follow the Rays all season with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat for your smartphone or tablet. And Kinsler twice has struck out. Once looking, the last time swinging when he missed a fastball. Two and 0. Strikeout high this year in any one game for Odorizzi, 9. That came back in the middle of April when he pitched 6 innings against the Yankees. Ground ball off the glove of Longoria. Cabrera pick up and the throw. Forsythe cannot scoop it at first, but a great effort there on the left side of the Rays infield.
Well, Evan Longoria, the third baseman, especially Evan, is going to try to take anything that he can get to. So he's going to take a couple of steps and dive, but Asdrubal Cabrera is backing this play up, and even with the deflection off the thumb of the glove, he's there to give the Rays a chance. You see, there's the dive, the ball redirected, but there's Cabrera.
So an infield hit for Kinsler.
That's a tough chance, too, on the scoop there by Forsythe. That in-between hop that came up high on him. Well, be careful with this guy.
Cespedes homered. It went out to right center field in the 4th. Hit a home run last night. Hit that one to left. A ball, no strikes. Two and 0. Odorizzi faced the Tigers last year in August here at Tropicana Field. Gave up 3 runs in 6 2/3. Took the loss. There's a strike. It's now 2 and 1. A 1-2-3 first inning, but gave the Tigers 19 pitches in that one and 20 pitches in the 4th. The chopped foul outside of third. 2 and 2. Cespedes up to 17 home runs. Hit that one last night off Nathan Carnes with a changeup to lead off the 7th. This one the other way to right center tonight. Little cutter there. We'll see another 2-2 pitch after that foul ball.
A couple of different times tonight, and you go back to that strikeout that Jake Odorizzi was able to pick up against James McCann, and we've seen the changeup used on these right-handed hitters on purpose. You know, that's not something you typically see, middle of the plate, you know, middle away. But as aggressive as these guys are, they see something coming at them that resembles a fastball, and they want to get going. And so they've been using that pitch effectively.
Hot shot. Oh, what a stop by Beckham to keep that ball from going through. I don't know how he got a glove on that one to stop it.
Yeah, I mean, that ball was absolutely blistered. He just didn't have anywhere to throw it. Nobody was at second, and he was laying flat on his back and couldn't get that ball to first.
An acrobatic stop. Look at that by Beckham.
Parallel to the ground. Glove up. Wow.
Well, you talk about a guy hitting the ball hard. Cespedes is hitting the ball hard. Wow. And what a great reaction there by Beckham. So a hard hit single. Technically an infield single. How about that being an infield hit? It almost took Beckham into the outfield with it. .102 off the bat.
For an infield hit.
Yeah, how about that? My, oh my. Strike the count on Victor Martinez. Two men on with 2 men out. You have to be careful, very careful to Victor Martinez. It's Kinsler second, Cespedes first. 0-2. Down to first. They leave 2. Martinez retired. First base unassisted on the off-speed pitch. 4-1 Rays. The field, World War II veteran Wayne Thornburg celebrated his 90th birthday on the 24th of this month. Wayne served in the Navy aboard the destroyer USS Compton in the Pacific. Happy birthday to Wayne Thornburg. Joey Butler leading off the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 count as he faces David Price. 2-0. Rays with 6 hits tonight, and the Tigers have 6 hits. Three and 0. Just with a cutter there.
We got to give Joey Butler credit here for not those balls. Last 2 of them tantalizingly close. Not chasing, not going off the plate. Going to force David Price back on if he's going to swing.
And ball 4. A walk on 4 pitches to begin the bottom of the 5th inning. Well, here we are coming up to the trading deadline this year. Last year, the Rays and the Tigers putting together a complicated deal, but here are the principles.
Well, David Price moving on to Detroit. Drew Smyly, the early returns on him, outstanding. Just had obviously the shoulder issue this year, but he had a rehab start yesterday for Durham. So he's slowly but surely working his way back. You figure Willie Adames still has a little ways to go. And we'll see if Nick Franklin can work his way back to the Rays.
Well, the Rays were extremely high on Adames when they got him. He was at the A level. He's playing at the high A ball level this year. A 1-strike count to Evan Longoria with Butler at first. One the count. Evan looking for his first hit off Price. Right now 0 for 2 tonight, 0 for 5 now in his career as he fouls the fastball to get behind 1 and 2. And that one wide. Fastball stayed out there. Phillies lead the Blue Jays 3-2 in the middle of the 7th inning in Toronto. Blue Jays starting the day at 500, 50-50. The Rays are 50-51. The count is full to Longoria.
I'll tell you, the Rays lineup tonight has had a great approach against David Price. They really have. I mean, a number of these close pitches, they've been disciplined enough to lay off, where David is trying to get him to swing outside of the strike zone, something that Jim Hickey was talking about in discussing David Price's evolution. Rays hitters have stayed away from going out of the zone for the most part.
It's interesting, that conversation with Jim Hickey about how they had broached the topic of a change of approach. Tough sometimes, and you might have a really good feel for that, having been there. Difficult, you know, that there's a certain approach and a certain theory. Down to third, backhanded Castellanos. Kinsler 1. First base, they get the 5-4-3 double play. Something different being proposed to you, being talked about. And it's sometimes difficult to pull the trigger on making a move.
You know, it is, and the main reason why is because for every time that backdoor cutter would burn David Price, he'd get 9 or 10 outs on it. You know, so in his mind, he's like, okay, yeah, that wasn't ideal, but look how many strikeouts I get off of that pitch. And it's not until you start to mature as a pitcher, maybe you get burned a couple of times in some really big spots, and you say, you know what, maybe it's time to make a change. Doesn't mean you completely abandon it, but let's try another approach. And a lot of times it can be preached to you, but you need to fail yourself out on the field before you end up saying, you know what, he's right, and it's time to make a change.
The other point that Jim Hickey made makes absolute sense about not only the evolution, doesn't mean that you're going to forget that.
Yeah.
You know, you make changes, you make adjustments, hitters make adjustments, and pitchers make adjustments right back.
We said earlier in the game, after the fastball in, I think it was the Brandon Guyer maybe, you're like, okay, well, this is typically where he comes back with that backdoor cutter. Because it really became a pitch you could say, okay, works me away, gets ahead 0-2, fastball in, off the plate 1-2, here comes the backdoor cutter. You could almost set your clock to it.
And, you know, he mentioned the changeup being used a little bit more, and there was just a great one right there to Forsythe to get the count to 1-2.
And then the backdoor cutter.
So we got a little bit of everything going here.
It's a little bit out of order. Well, I think right now what David Price is trying to do is find a mix that works consistently against this lineup. The Rays have really pushed him pretty hard here tonight.
Keeps the count right there at 2-2.
It's the games like tonight that give you hope. You're like, if this lineup can have the approach that they've had here off of David Price, then really no excuse going forward against anybody else.
That's just the strangest thing about this game.
It drives you nuts.
Out to short, grabbed by Iglesias to retire the side. We're through 5. Rays lead 4-1. Facing David Price, the base hit by Tim Beckham got Asdrubal Cabrera home in the second. Cabrera unloading a double in the 4th inning to break a 1-1 tie. An 11 pitch at bat, and then on a 2-1 delivery, Kurt Casale followed up with another home run, his 6th home run of the year. After belting a home run last night, Casale a 2 home run night last night and a 3-hit game. There's a home run tonight. Jay Rizzi here in the 6th. Facing J.D. Martinez, who is 2 for 2. Martinez tripled to open the second inning. Was left on. Singled with one out in the fourth. Advanced to third and was left on again at third base. It's 2-1. Two balls, two strikes. Strike three call. It was almost as if Estabrook thought about it for a little bit. We talked about that pitch away being a strike. And Martinez didn't like the idea that there was a delay.
That's it in a nutshell. Kirk Casale trying to keep the meat of the glove over the outside corner. And you're right, Mike Estabrook took his good old time before calling that strike three. And that's what J.D. Martinez is going to have an issue with. But that pitch way too close to take anyway.
Strikeout number 8 for Odorizzi.
You're used to a certain tempo, whether you're out on the mound or you're in the batter's box, to an umpire's call. And when that tempo is thrown off, you're like, what are you thinking about? What do you just call it? And it's been a frustrating night for Tiger hitters.
It's 1-1. Big cut by Castellanos. Foul up the right side, out of play. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. The count goes full. Only the third time that Odorizzi has had a full count tonight. 3-2 to Castellanos here in the 6th. He went 3-2 to Cespedes in the first in the 10-pitch at bat. They got him on a line drive caught by Beckham. 3-2 to Avila in the second. He had a fly ball not too deep to left that Geyer handled. Now 3-2 to Nick Castellanos. Pops it up. Foul ball might be playable. Forsythe. Oh, he just could not make the catch. He had a little difficulty finding where he needed to go on that one, and it remained in play, but not the easiest of plays as he sliding over to play first base tonight.
And he's not usually, that's the thing, he's not usually playing that low wall, and you could see how uncomfortable he was. He still had plenty of room, not used to being over there. You see him reaching, and he actually was over there in time to be camped under this thing, and it's just that lack of familiarity.
They rule it a no play. Odorizzi will make another 3-2 pitch. The right side again, this one well out of play. Steve Geltz up in the Rays bullpen. That's a bit inside for ball 4. And the first walk given up by Odorizzi. And a 9-pitch at bat. You can receive the exclusive Raymond and DJ Kitty 2-pack Termos tumbler set free with any purchase of $125 or more at the Team Store at Tropicana Field or at the Team Store in downtown Tampa. Tumblers only available until Friday, August 14th. Jim Hickey spending a little time on the mound with Jake Odorizzi. 1 on with 1 out in the 6th inning. Quite a start to the Yankee-Texas game in Arlington, Texas. The game's in the top of the 2nd inning, and it's a 5-5 tie. So they're battling it out already.
Coach pitch. It's a coach pitch game.
James McCann. Strike 1 on the foul ball. Ball and a strike. Odorizzi closing in on 100 pitches. He's at 97 right now. Ooh, close. 2-1. Jake made 83 pitches in 5 innings at Philadelphia on the 22nd. 93 the time before that. Outside of third, foul, and the count is 2-2. Alex Avila on deck. It's a foul ball, and that deflects off Casale. Rays scored a run in the first. Beckham drove it home. Home run in the 4th inning by Cespedes tied it. The Rays put up 3 in the 4th on a double by Cabrera and a 2-run home run by Kurt Casale. Ground ball, third base, Longoria out at second. Beckham started first, out there. 5-4-3 on the double play to take care of Detroit in the 6th. Nicely done around the horn. Rays coming in to hit at the bottom of the frame. It's 4-1 Tampa Bay. Bring home Raymond. It'll be Sunday, August 9th. The Rays play the Mets, and kids 14 and under receive a Raymond soap dispenser presented by Advantica while supplies last. For tickets, call 888-FAN-RAYS or visit RaysBaseball.com. Rays up. Steven Souza Jr. doubled and scored in the 4th inning, leading off in the 6th. The pitch is a strike. Xavier Cedeno throwing in the bullpen right now for the Rays. They go to Rizzi, 6 innings and 101 pitches. One and two. Orioles have opened a 7-2 lead. They're hitting in the bottom of the 6th inning over Atlanta. Phillies continue to lead the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 8th in Toronto. That's a 3-2 ball game. And strike 3 called. The cutters started wide. Jubal Cabrera's had quite a night tonight.
Well, I mean, short of seeing about 20 pitches, 20-plus pitches, I mean, he has had a heck of a night, a double off a hanging curveball, and then he's able to dump this pitch out there, a run-scoring double. He has seen the ball out of David Price's hand very, very well. 2 long extended at-bats, both ending very well for his Jubal.
High-def highlights brought to you by H.H. Gregg, and here's Cabrera taking the first pitch for a strike. Down to first, handled by Avila. Unassisted. Two up, 2 down in the 6th inning. It's only the 2nd time tonight in any one inning that the Rays have had the first 2 men in that inning retired. And here's Curt Casale. How about these numbers for Curt Casale? 7 of his last 18, 5 home runs.
Yikes. That's making the most of your hits. Go big or go home.
It's a strike. Hit a 2-run home run in the 4th inning of David Price after he singled against him in the 2nd. It's 1-1. There's a shot deep into right center field, and that one is out of here. Casale is red hot. His 2nd home run of the night after hitting 2 home runs last night. Rays have never had a catcher hit 6 home runs in a single month. John Flaherty hit 5 in May of '99. Now 6 home runs by Casale, and 4 of those in the last 2 nights.
And they've come off the fastball earlier in the game, the changeup. This one, the backdoor cutter, and he goes with it, showing you that sock to the opposite field. And what else can you do? I mean, Curt Casale right now is just, well, he's teeing up everything.
Curt Casale, fans want a curtain call. Well, Casale out of the dugout. He had a 3-hit game last night with 2 home runs, a 3-hit game tonight with 2 home runs. Upstairs to Beckham, boy, for the guy who showed him around Vanderbilt on a recruiting trip. He's not treating him all that kindly in this game. Price showed him around Vanderbilt.
He's just showing David around Tropicana Field.
He's showing his pitches around Tropicana Field, that's for sure. Boy, what a stretch he's in.
Don't talk to him. Don't touch him. Just let him go.
Two and one. Boy, that's impressive. That home run to right center field. They've all been impressive, but boy, that was really nice to see that ball driven out.
It just shows you, number one, the strength and the power, of course, but just the approach. He didn't jump out at that pitch. He let that ball, get into the zone, and then just trusted his swing. Didn't jump at the pitch. Trust your hands. And boy, oh boy, is the ball jumping off of his bat. I mean, it's coming off there with some hop.
He's hit 3 home runs in his last 4 at bats.
Off 3 different pitches.
Yep.
Well, his balance at the plate, with a couple of the changeups that he hit earlier in the game, not fooled. Everything was on time with the swing. Everything was on time with that swing at the backdoor cutter. The fastballs yesterday.
Beckham fouls it away. 2 out, solo shot by Casale. He's driven in 3 of the 5 runs for the Rays tonight. Beckham has 1 and Cabrera the other one. It's pop foul and he's out of play.
And what have we seen in this at bat again from Tim Beckham?
Yep.
2 strikes, shorten the stroke, stay alive, foul some pitches off, hope to find a hole, maybe you work a walk. His 2-strike approach, I'm telling you, it's as good as anybody's as far as cutting down on the swing. Impressive.
Albuquerque up again. And that is strike 3 called on the cutter. Rays get a run on the blast into right center field off the bat of Kurt Casale. And it's 5-1 Tampa Bay. tonight. And for Jake Odorizzi, 6 innings. And that will complete his night.
Well, and he had to work hard at times. He got himself into some trouble. Your Detroit hitters, had some opportunities, but I'll tell you, that's when he saved his best, really making quality pitches, able to pitch out of a couple of jams, and he would just continue to mow down Tiger hitters, especially after he was given that lead in 6 very strong innings, just the 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, and more importantly than anything, just 1 run.
Xavier Cedeno in the game here in the 7th inning. He'll face the bottom part of the order, starting with Alex Avila. 40th appearance for Cedeno. Avila fouls it away. We thought that game in Arlington, Texas was off to a hot start.
It was. Texas
now coming into hit in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and the Yankees now have an 11-5 lead. Really?
16 runs in an inning and a half.
The Yankees have more runs than hits.
I told you it was a coach pitch game.
They had an 11-run 2nd inning. So it was 5-0 Texas. Now it's 11-5 New York.
Well then.
1-2. But it's early.
I was going to say
anything could happen.
By no stretch is that ball game over.
Avila fouls it. That will be fair. And Forsythe makes the pickup and steps on the bag for the out. As promised earlier in the game, we've selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag #SSDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming telecast brought to you by T-Mobile. Jose Iglesias, the shortstop. One ball, no strikes. One. Look out. Ooh, liner fouled into the stands. That ball had Dave Clark, the third base coach, ducking, and everybody else in the stands behind third base. One and two now.
You cannot get it far enough out of the strike zone that Iglesias will not go after it.
He's actually been ahead in the count twice in this series, and that's a big deal for him. Did he go? He held, and the count goes to 2-2. He was 2-1 in the 5th inning and topped out. Last night he actually went to 3-1 at a fly ball to left. Very aggressive. And out on strikes. Cedeno picks up strikeout number 9 for Rays pitching.
Well, cut fastball. Boy, he put that in a nice spot. You see Iglesias all tied up. He cannot get the barrel of that bat. This ball continues to cut in on him. A tremendous pitch.
Strike one. One and one. Ball, 2 strikes. Rays with 5 runs, 7 hits. Tigers 1 run, 6 hits. Kurt Casale has hit 2 home runs tonight after hitting 2 home runs last night. Second time in club history. They've had multiple home runs by a hitter in back-to-back games. Greg Vaughn in May on the 18th and 19th in 2002 did that in Baltimore. Kurt Casale has done that tonight and last night. A foul again back of the dugout. Cedeno's retired the first 2 men. Line drive caught by the shortstop Cabrera. 7th inning stretch time. Rays 5, Tigers 1. could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Circle K. It's the summer of 69 at Circle K. Just 69 cents for your favorite size Polar Pop all summer long. By Checkers, mix and match our famous Big Buford and Big Chicken Deluxe. Get 2 for $5. And by Kona Brewing Company. One life, right? Don't blow it. Mahalo. A big cut and a little foul ball right back into the mitt of McCann by Kiermaier. That's a strike. Al Albuquerque making his 45th appearance. He was on briefly last night. David Price finished after 6 innings. The Rays get to him for 5. 2-1. Into center field. Ghost will go back with room and make the catch. So Kiermaier's the first out for David Price. Rays rude to him tonight.
Well, he's searching for a formula that worked. And, you know, Cabrera, that was an extended at-bat. He got a curveball that kind of hung up, was able to double. You know, Tim Beckham, a nice job right there of working an at-bat with 2 strikes, shortening up the stroke, and then Kurt Casale got a mistake. It was a 2-1 changeup that was yanked across the plate that he was able to deposit into left field for a big 2-run homer. Would victimize David later in the ball game with a backdoor cutter he was able to take out to right center. The Rays lineup tonight really has had a nice approach off of David Price, and you don't see that very often.
5 runs, 7 hits, a couple of walks, and 4 strikeouts, and there's a foul ball right back out of play. It's a 2-strike count. Gars popped out, struck out, and grounded out. And he chases this pitch. Slider. 2 gone. Joey Butler's going to be lifted now with John Jaso coming on to hit against Albuquerque. Ball, no strikes. In that 11-run second for New York, 15 men came to the plate in that inning. The first 8 all reached and scored. And they erased a 5-0 deficit. Two and 1 to count. Three balls and a strike. Backhanded. Avila's tossed to Albuquerque. The Rays are up and down 1-2-3 in the 7th. On to inning 8, 5-1. summary brought to you by Gold and Diamond Source. Rays grabbed a 1-0 lead. Tigers tied it in the fourth, and the Rays came right back with 3, adding another run in the sixth. The Rays offense has been led by Asdrubal Cabrera and Kurt Casale tonight. Casale with 3 hits again, and another 2-home run night. 4 home runs so far in this series. And to face the top of the Detroit lineup in the 8th inning, Steve Geltz comes on.
Well, he's on for the 47th time, 46 2/3 innings, 44 strikeouts. That opponent's average, a minuscule 163.
First pitch, Kinsler goes after it and lifts a high fly ball, not too deep to center, and he is the first out in the 8th. Middle of the 7th in Baltimore, the Orioles continue to hold a 7-2 lead on Atlanta. And the Blue Jays coming in to bat in the bottom of the 9th, trailing the Phillies. That's a 3-2 ball game. Ken Giles coming on to pitch for Philadelphia. There's Yoenis Cespedes. He's 2 for 3 tonight with a home run. He provided one of the 2 runs last night for the Tigers with his 16th home run, and tonight hit number 17 on the year in the 4th inning. It's inside. 2-1. Enough to leave Felice busy in the bullpen for the Tigers. There's a fastball and a mighty cut by Cespedes. Fouls it. It's 2-2. It up the right field side and out of play. It's too low. 2-1. Do it again. Line foul, hooking into the seats.
Nobody's giving in this at bat. Geltz continues to attack Cespedes with the fastball. Yoenis, very good fastball hitter, continues to foul them off.
And a towering fly ball to center field. Kiermaier will take care of that. An extended at bat, 2 gone. The Rays pleased to announce the special program for the military now through the end of the season. Active duty, retired, or honorably discharged veterans can get a Rays Honor Pass entitling them to 2 free tickets to any Rays regular season home game. Visit RaysBaseball.com/Honor Pass for more information. A strike to Victor Martinez around the knees. It's 1-1. Fastball, he missed it. Pitch up.
You know, and we've seen Victor Martinez tonight. It didn't look like he had very good looks at Jake Odorizzi, like he wasn't picking the ball up very well. Swinging and missing at a number of fastballs that you don't often see that either.
Ground ball, and that's going to be fair through the open side, just inside the bag. So it goes as a base hit. Rays with the shift on for Victor Martinez, and that ball just fair inside third.
Well, staying away, and Victor Martinez goes, well, okay, there's nobody over there. So this ball off the plate, he just goes out and pokes it the other way, knowing that there's no defense for that.
The Yankees have just added to their lead in Texas. Chris Young has hit a grand slam.
Oh, come on.
And it's 15-5.
In what inning?
It was, they're in the top of the third. It was 5-0 at one point.
Texas. 15 unanswered.
An 11-run inning, and now a grand slam in the third by Chris Young. Strike one to J.D. Martinez. In, and he fouls it back. Swing and a miss. 10th strikeout for Rays pitching. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 5-1 Rays. Brought to you by Tampa Bay Radiation Oncology. When cancer strikes, strike back with CyberKnife. By Kubota. For more information, go to FloridaKubotaDealers.com. And by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers.
I'll tell you what, every time they show that, you know, that particular nacho stand, they're very consistent and how they put that together and make that.
I know, and I take my hat off to you as an expert when it comes to nacho stands.
Yeah, listen, you know a good one when you see it, and it seemingly every time the platter looks the same. Very good.
1-0 the count to Evan Longoria, leading off against Neftali Feliz. Nice shot, that one deep into right center. Ghost will run out of room. That one gone for Longoria. Home run number 11 for Longoria. That makes it 6-1.
Well, and guess what? Longoria is on one of those streaks. I believe this is the 6th straight game now with an extra base hit. Fastball middle of the plate down. He gets inside of it with that long swing. Able to get some lift and carry out there to right center field. And we're starting to see him pop some balls.
We had a home run in the game here on Sunday in the Baltimore series. Logan Forsythe taking the pitch in. 1 ball, no strikes. Brandon Gomes up in the Rays bullpen. Phillies beat Toronto, by the way. The Blue Jays are now 50-51. Three and one.
Hey, get out of the Phillies' way.
How about that?
I mean, really?
Morgan won tonight. A couple of lefties. Morgan the winner and Dubramp the loser. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Fouled back. Three home run night for the Rays. One here in the 8th by Longoria. Kurt Casale has 2 more home runs tonight. And ball 4 is upstairs to Forsythe. Runner at first, nobody out. We'll check in with Emily Austin. Emily?
Dwayne, we clearly have a lot to talk about on the Rays Live postgame show presented by Checkers tonight. Todd and Aresis will be at the desk. I will be gathering interviews in the Rays clubhouse. We'll check in with you and BA up in the booth. We have plenty to discuss. Odorizzi with another dominant performance. Well, a warm welcome back for Cabrera. And then Kurt Casale's bat is just absolutely on fire. BA, I want to point something out. Clearly, I'm not the only one who eats cereal for breakfast. I think somebody's also eating their Wheaties.
And there's a base hit to left by Steven Souza Jr. The Rays put 2 men on base with nobody out.
Well, you know what, Emily, I may have to disagree with you. And I don't think it's Wheaties for breakfast. I think it's spinach for lunch, and maybe a little pregame spinach. I think that's where it's coming from. Not so much the breakfast cereal. I think he's more of a tricks guy.
Well, whether it's Wheaties or spinach, since the start of 2014, Rays catchers, aside from Kurt Casale, have hit 9 home runs in 725 at-bats. He has hit 7 home runs in 121 at-bats since then. And 4 of those have come in the last 2 nights.
I was going to say, how about 4 in his last 6 at-bats? Unbelievable.
2 on now, nobody out. Here's Asdrubal Cabrera. Cabrera back active, and boy, he has had a couple of outstanding at bats tonight against David Price, now facing Phillies. One and one. Kansas City beat Cleveland 2-1. The former Ray Wade Davis got the win in that one. He's 7-1 with a 0.41 earned run average. Holland picked up his 22nd save. And a last report, the Yankees settled for just the grand slam in the top of the third. Texas hitting in the bottom of the third. It's 15-5 New York in that game. Foul out of play. Count still 1-2. Here the Rays lead 6-1. White Sox lead the Red Sox 9-2 in the bottom of the ninth at Fenway. And the Orioles home against Atlanta Braves batting in the top of the ninth, and that's 7-2 Baltimore. Pop back foul. Still a ball, 2 strikes on Cabrera. Those first 2 at bats against David Price, including the 11 pitch at bat in the 4th before he doubled in a run and then scored on Casale's home run to follow. Ground ball. Avila into foul territory and has no play. He just could not pick it up, and it kicked away from him. The bases are going to be loaded. Avila making his 6th start at first base, and that's going to be a base hit for Cabrera.
Yeah, not used to being down there, and Cabrera's going to go right up the line. Avila, he drew a beat on it. You could see him playing deep, close to the line. 2-hopper off the glove, but then off the body, and that's what did him in. That ball off the heel of the glove, and then it hit him. The momentum spit that ball out further into foul territory, and the Rays bases juice now with nobody.
Jeff Jones, the pitching coach, talks it over with Phillies. And Kurt Casale's due up in tonight's game, and all season long, Tires Plus donates $100 to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. For every Tampa Bay Rays home run televised on Sun Sports. Kurt Casale hit one in the 4th inning and again in the 6th.
Change up to left, cutter to right, and now bases loaded. Felice is going to have to come out over the plate to him.
Casale 3 for 3 tonight after a 3-hit night last night when Casale picked up a single and 2 home runs. Forsythe at third, Souza Jr. at second, Cabrera at first. Infield up with nobody out. And a big cut and a foul ball, strike 1. Blaine Hardy up in the bullpen. He was up earlier. Too high. 1-1. Longoria greeted Feliz with a home run. Foul back. 1-2. Feliz pitched in Boston day before yesterday. Gave up 3 runs in 1 inning. Rays have loaded the bases. He's made 19 pitches so far in this inning. Still nobody out. He is ahead of Casale. And a cut and a miss. He strikes him out on the fastball up. So Casale, the first out here in the inning.
You know, mid-90s heater, that's up around the letters, and Casale can't quite get up to it.
Well, one away, just in case you were wondering, the Rays have had 3 different players hit 3 home runs in a game. Evan Longoria has done it twice. Johnny Gomes did it, and B.J. Upton. And Casale out on strikes here for the first out in the 8th inning, and now Tim Beckham takes a slider out of the zone. One and one. Two.
I'll tell you, I think you've got to come away from this ball game here if the Rays can continue to hold on to this lead. Just encouraged, impressed with what this lineup did, you know, against David Price. We've seen him, you know, better. We've seen him sharper, but still, he is a tough cat to deal with. And a lot of pitches that were just off the plate. They didn't chase. They forced him to work hard. Tried to force him out over the plate. Put together some extended at-bats, and it forced them to work hard. And I'll tell you, that top to bottom, even some of the outs, they were good at-bats. And you don't see that very often, David Price get pushed like that.
You know, here's Beckham, and we've talked about his 2-strike approach. He chased a slider to get to 2 strikes. Now, 0-2, he takes a slider. And the count now is 2-2.
And he will shorten the swing. See right there, just kind of a short, quick swing. You know, he's just trying to get the ball out into play and see what happens. You see that? You see him early in the count swing a lot bigger than that. But that's what he's done, and he has come up with a number. In fact, really, his 2-strike batting average is better than his overall batting average. Figure that one out.
Tap foul. Well, that begs the question. Should he take that 2-strike approach to him from the get-go?
No, he just needs to come up with a better approach early. No, I mean, what he's done, though, is he really, and it's a smaller sample size, obviously, but still with 2 strikes, I mean, you can see it, where he just shortens up and just tries to put the ball in play. And he's been finding holes. But he gives himself a chance, and that's all really that you can do in these types of situations.
Drives it into left center field. That's going to go all the way to the deepest part of the park. Forsythe has scored. Suja Jr. will score. Cabrera's going to score. It's going to be a triple for Beckham. He chases home 3 more runs, and the Rays really break it open here in the bottom of the 8th inning to make it 9-1 on a bases loaded triple from Tim Beckham.
And watch the swing here. He cut down on this swing. the damage was done by the simple fact. Look at that. That's just a half swing. He's not even coming all the way around. But the pitch was in such a bad location that the ball just jumped off the bat. That's why he was able to find the gap, and that ball roll all the way out there deep into the crevice. That allows him to skate into third, clear the bases, and again, two-strike approach, shorten the swing. Big damage.
That's going to be it for Phillies. Rays lead 9-1. Bottom of the 8th inning. The triple by Tim Beckham, clearing the bases, scoring Forsythe, Souza, and Cabrera. And Blaine Hardy is on for the 45th time, facing the left-handed bat of Kevin Kiermaier. Strike one. Two, breaking ball. Quickly, Kevin's down in the count. One ball, two strikes. Kiermaier sends a high fly ball back into left. Beckham will tag at third. Cespedes makes the catch, and Beckham scores. So it's a 5-run 8th, and the Rays now lead 10-1. As Kiermaier drives in his 18th run. Here's what's coming up Friday. The Rays wrap up this homestand tomorrow afternoon. We'll be with you Friday on Rays Live. Pre-game show presented by your Gulf Coast Honda dealers. Rays head up to Fenway Park to open that weekend series against the Red Sox, and Orestes has selected Mike Napoli to break down. Brandon Guyer, that's strike one. So the base is now empty with 5 runs across. Out of play, 0-2. So Felice gives up 5 runs in a third of an inning. Rays got the other 5 off Price in 6 innings. Ball, 2 strikes. will end the inning as Geyer is out on strikes. But the Rays come up with 5 in the 8th.
Betcha.
Brandon Gomes will be the new pitcher for the Rays here as we go to the 9th inning. The Rays had their third 10-run game of the year. They had a 12-3 run over Toronto back on the 24th of April and beat Minnesota 11-3 on the road in Minneapolis on May the 17th. And as Gomes comes on here, they hold a 10-1 lead on the Tigers. And Castellanos leads it off. And Gomes' pitch is too low. 6 innings for Odorizzi, an inning for Cedeno, an inning for Geltz, and now Gomes on. Got a bit of Casali right there.
Yeah, watch this. It's going to miss his shin protectors. Kind of rattling around. Ouch.
And then the bat got him as well. Fly ball into left, sending Geyer back. One away.
Well, I don't think anybody saw this coming.
Not 10 runs in a game started by David Price.
Not a chance. Figured that between Price and Odorizzi, you were going to have a fast-moving, low-scoring, who's going to blink first type of ball game.
James McCann, the Detroit catcher. One ball, no strikes. Baltimore wins. Toronto loses. Yankees have a big lead. And the Red Sox lost. 1-1. Two and one, so it would appear The Yankees would hold a 7-game lead over Baltimore, 7.5 over the Rays, and 8 over Toronto, and 14 over Boston. Popper short center. Beckham out. Kiermaier in. And Kevin Kiermaier on the run handles that one.
It's anywhere near center field, and it hangs up there for any length of time. Kiermaier, the ground that he covers and the way that he's able to get to full speed so quickly, what a weapon out in the outfield. Being able to cover ground, taking balls away that would normally fall in for bloop singles, run down balls in the gap.
Alex Avila, who's played first base tonight up here with the bases empty. And the pitch from Gomes is outside. Two and 0. Ball up by him. 2 and 1. Fly ball to left. Geyer's going to go back on the run over his head and bouncing to the wall. Avila's on his way to second, and he has a double.
Well, there's your margin for error. You know, if you can elevate the heater away from Avila, we've seen time and time again, he's able to, or he swings right through it. If it's not up, though, see with that uppercut swing, that's when he's able to get to that pitch, and he's strong enough to drive it the other way. That's got to have more elevation than that, or that's what you run the risk of.
The shortstop, Jose Iglesias. Pitch is a strike at the knees. That's a base hit up the right side. Avila heads to the plate on a single by Iglesias. And that's going to make it 10-2. 20th run batted in for the Tigers shortstop. Gomes 1 out away from closing this one out cleanly. Gives up a double and a single.
Well, the pitch to Avila, it didn't have enough elevation. This one here is outer half, but Iglesias goes right with it, able to get it by Forsythe. Had some room to work with over there on the right side. And drives in a run.
Now 1-0 to Anthony Gose. Fly ball into left. That will be caught by Geyer to end it. And the Rays take the second game of this series from the Detroit Tigers. It's a 10-2 final tonight at Tropicana Field, and the Rays get back to 500. They are 51-51. A big night for Kurt Casale. Another 3-hit night, including 2 home runs. He did the same last night. 3 hits and a couple home runs. He belted a 2-run homer in the 4th tonight. A solo shot in the 6th. He has 7 on the year and leads the way to a 10-2 Rays victory over the Detroit Tigers. Right now, Baltimore 6.5 back of New York. with the Rays 7 back, Toronto 7.5, and Boston 13.5, and the Yankees have that big lead, 16-5 over Texas at the end of 4 innings in Arlington. So a big night for the Rays. For the 3rd time this year, they have a 10-run game. They scored 12 against Toronto in April, 11 against Minnesota in May, and now 10 against the Tigers here in July, and have taken the first 2 games to win this series. And tomorrow they'll have Chris Archer on the mound against Justin Verlander, as the Rays will look for a sweep here over this team. Odorizzi's going to even his record at 6-6. Price, the loser, he's now 9-4. Took 3 hours and 9 minutes to play this game. And once again, Todd Calla standing by with Kurt Casale.
Yeah, we're a little repeat here, Dwayne. We don't often get the same guest back-to-back nights, but when you go 3 for 4 with 2 home runs each night, that is a no-brainer. Kurt, last time David Price pitched against the Rays, it was a hero from Vanderbilt, and tonight the same thing. I guess it's 1-1 in your guys' battle.
Yeah, anytime you can get to a pitcher like David, you're playing pretty well. So we got some good swings on the ball tonight, and unfortunately he let a couple over the plate for us to capitalize on.
When was the last time you felt this good at the plate?
High school, probably. So I'm hoping I can keep continuing to do it and help the ball club out, because 2 wins in a row is good for us right now, and hopefully we'll make it 3 tomorrow.
Take a look at the video of your home runs, and you can take us through it. And Price is not going to give you much.
No, I think the first one was a changeup, 2-1. He'd been throwing changeups when he was behind in the count all day, and then the last one was a cutter away. Fortunately, he threw me one earlier in the bat, so I got to see it early and put some good swings on the ball tonight.
Well, it was a team effort. The 10 runs, the 11 hits. Obviously, you had 2 big home runs, but to get that kind of production, a game much needed based on where your offense has been.
I know you guys are not used to seeing it, but I keep telling you guys we have good hitters, and we battle out every single time we get out of the on the field. But tonight was a good example of what we can do collectively. And Tim Beckham with a great game today as well. Longo adding a home run, and just all throughout the lineup, we were really competitive and grinded out one of the best pitchers in baseball.
We figured that was coming. I figured that was coming at some point, but with Archer going back for a start tomorrow, DeJesus being traded, didn't have the normal guys. Speaking of pitching, Jake Odorizzi tonight. Tell us, did he look like back to where he was when he was rolling in April, May, and before the...
Absolutely. He was throwing everything for strikes tonight and keeping these guys off balance, just the exact same way the Cardinals did last night. Really proud of the way, the effort that he gave us tonight, because when you have good starting pitching like that, it's hard to lose.
It's been fun to watch, Kurt. Keep it up. Thanks.
Thanks, Todd.
All right, guys, back to you.
All right, Todd, thank you. Rays winners tonight. It's a 10-2 final. Get their record at the break-even mark at 51 up and 51 down. For Brian Anderson, Todd Callis, and the rest of our crew, this is Dwayne Stats. Great to have you with us. Hope you've enjoyed the telecast. Rays winners big tonight over Detroit, 10-2. Our next telecast Friday night from Fenway Park in Boston. We'll be with you at 6:30. Rays Live, the postgame, presented by Checkers, is next.